If I could, I'd like to call the West Baton Rouge Parish Council meeting to order. I'd ask everyone to please put your electronic devices on silent. And I'd ask Mr. Evan Cooper to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the machines are open for roll call. We have a quorum. We'll move on to item number 4, approval of the minutes from October 11th, 2018 regular meeting. We have a motion by Ms. Charlene Gardner, seconded by Barry Huggins to approve the minutes. Is there any questions? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote to approve the minutes of October 11th, 2018. Motion passes. Item number 5, consider any amendments to the agenda. We don't have anything. Any council members? And none. We'll move on to item number 6, Parish President's report. Mr. Breathelot.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members. This week, actually Wednesday, yesterday, we had our highway priority meeting. It was scheduled at the Capitol for 9 o'clock. Of course, with the traffic dilemma we had yesterday, several of the legislators who sit on these committees were running late. But we had, probably, one of the things, like what if this happened, what if that happened? Well, the Sunshine Bridge, of course, we all know is closed. But and so we have a lot more traffic coming up LA1 through, crossing over into Coast Canal. Southbound on LA1, they had a 18-wheel in the car, and it was fired, blocked the traffic for several hours. It backed up, way past the 10-12 split going in. The city of Port Allen was just at gridlock. You couldn't get anywhere in the city of Port Allen. I found it kind of weird that coming north, it was like no traffic, and so it was something. But anyway, I had pre-filed, some our priorities that I wanted to discuss with the Transportation Committee, and those were the LA1 415 connector, a new bridge, the existing intercoastal bridge, Rosedale Road is rutted and it needs some attention, and also LA1 southbound lane is starting to get to the point to where we need to put that on the schedule. But Rick Ward kind of kicked it off because he had to go, and several of the legislators had to leave to go because the governor and Secretary Wilson was going down and they was going to ride up on the crane barge and look at the Sunshine Bridge. But they went back. And almost every one of the legislators that was on this joint committees, senators and representatives, they all mentioned the Sunshine Bridge, LA1, and the traffic, what it's doing, in our area. And so we had a follow-up meeting right after that was already scheduled with Eric Calaboda, who's the Deputy Secretary, and Anna Hanks, who is the project leader on our LA1 415 connector. So it's a very good meeting. I hate to see the traffic backed up like that, but I think it worked in our favor yesterday. And we did have some good statements, and people like Steve Carter and even Chad Brown, who's represents Iberville, Rick Ward, and all those guys that was on this committee, all talked about, we're going to push and try to get this project, scheduled to go. So we're working forward. So it actually was a good meeting yesterday. The other thing I have is the Veterans Day Parade. It's going to be November the 4th, so we won't meet again before that. But it's on a Sunday, and I think the parade usually kicks off about 1:30, and then after that they can have a ceremony in front of the museum, which they always do. I think Garrett Graves may be our guest speaker over there.
We hoping you will be.
Do I?
We hope that you'll be able to attend.
Yeah, and I think he may, because I think it's a couple of days before the election, so
Right.
it may be a good opportunity for him.
Right.
But anyway, if y'all can attend, it's usually a pretty nice parade and stuff like that. It's not a Mardi Gras parade where there's a lot of, you know, drinking and crazy celebration, but it's a good thing where it shows a lot of respect to the veterans. So if you can make it, that'd be nice. Hazardous Waste Day is actually this Saturday coming, from 8 to 12 at Mahan Park. So if you can make that, if you got anything you need to drop off, it'd be a good time to do it. And that's all I really have to do, Mr. Chairman. But I'll see any questions you may have.
Any questions to the parish president? Any questions? Seeing none? Thank you, Pee Wee. Item number 7, public comments. Anyone from the public would like to be heard? Anyone from the public? Seeing none? Move on to item number 8, communications with council members or elected or appointed officials. We have any elected or appointed officials out in the audience that would like to speak? Mr. Philip Burgoyne.
Yeah, members of the council, again, I've given you your monthly reports. These are the reports for the ending of September 30th, 2018. It gives you your top 10 funds plus your general fund. And I'll be happy to answer any questions after you have an opportunity to look at it, maybe the next meeting. You also have in front of you a copy of your 2019 budget books. We'll start those meetings next Tuesday, starting at 5:30, and then also Thursday at 5:30. So be prepared.
Thank you very much, Philip. We have Ms. Charlene Gordon.
I just want to remind everyone, every year, the 1st of December, I have my annual toy drive, and I'm expecting for you all to help me this year with my toy drive. You all have been doing excellent with it, so continue on supporting me. And it will be December the 1st, that Saturday at Port Allen Middle School. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Charlene. Any other council members? Any other? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 9. Consider approval of the group medical insurance for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Mr. Minogue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All of you should have in your packets a little PowerPoint presentation I put together on the medical insurance. And we also have tonight with us Dwayne Wilson, who's our agent. Dwayne in the back row there. If you have any questions that I can't answer, I'm going to be pointing towards him to answer. So we'll just start off with just a little bit of history. You know, our current insurance consists of a high deductible plan with a health savings account and a PPO co-payment plan with Humana, is who our current carrier is. The initial quote, when we went out for quotes earlier with Humana, they came in around a 15% increase. And going back and forth and negotiating back and forth, told them, you know, this really wasn't acceptable, wasn't something. Dwayne actually went out to the market seeking competitive bids for us with like Blue Cross and United Healthcare and those folks. And they came back with a 5% increase for us, which is something we felt was palatable that we could accept and also remain with the same carrier. Because as y'all guys know, switching carriers back and forth, you know, causes employees some issues with doctors and things along those lines. The contributions to the HSA of $400 per employee and $800 per family, that costs approximately $90,000 to the parish, so I just want you guys to be aware of that. You flip over to the next page, and this will kind of show you our plan design, and I'm not going to go through all the details. You can feel free to ask any questions, but our high deductible plan remains exactly the same. The PPO plan, which, you know, you have co-pays when you go visit the doctor, that plan changes a little bit. You can see where the maximum out-of-pocket went from $5,500 for individual to $6,500, and also $11,000, which what it was, to $13,000. But the difference is under our current PPO plan, you had an 80% for in-plan deductible under the PPO. Under the current renewal, you basically cover for 100%. You just pay your deductible. So that's why you see the out-of-pocket actually go up just a tad there. And the other difference is that if you actually enter a PPO, like a facility, a hospital, it's $1,000 per day, but that, again, goes to your maximum out-of-pocket. And it's a 3-day max for that. Again, we're going to recommend, and you'll see this later, is that under the PPO plan, in order to try and make the plans around the same cost to the parish, they'll have to pick up the employee will pick up 18% of the premiums. Of course, the PPO plan premium would be 100% paid for by the parish. If you go to the next page, just kind of gives it to you in a nutshell. You can see the premiums for the high deductible plan is right at, was $1,766,000, is now $1,933,000. You see the PPO plans current versus the renewal, actually, it went down just a touch. That's the HSA contributions. If we make it again this year, it'd be $90,000. And then the next line is less the 18%, which the employee pays on the PPO plan. So you can see the total cost to the parish this year is like $2.536 million. Under the renewal, it's going to be $2.666 million. So that's the 5% increase I was telling you about for the total total insurance cost. So if you turn it to the next page, based on renewal considerations that we mentioned on the previous slides.
Can I ask you a question before you go any further?
Sure.
On the other page that you just left?
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at the HSA premiums, what they are, and I look at the PPO premiums. Basically, it looks like, how many employees or people belong to the PPO compared to the HSA you reckon?
We're probably about 65% on the high deductible plan, 35% on the PPO.
Okay.
Is about our breakdown. You might have the exact numbers. 147 on the HSA and 59 on the PPO.
All right.
So if you go back to the last page, based on the considerations that we mentioned, and with the minor plan changes, we're going to recommend actually continuing to stay with Humana for the 5% increase. We also recommend continue the $400 for single and $800 for family on the HSA contributions. And again, have the folks that are members of the PPO actually will continue to pay, as they did this year, 18% of the premium, which is about $1,466 for single and $4,693 for family per year. That's what their 18% comes up to be. So we just feel by, soliciting competitive bids from Blue Cross, United Healthcare, and Humana, we feel that the recommended renewal with Humana for 5% increase will continue to provide our employees with a competitive insurance choice for themselves and for their families. So if anybody has any questions.
All right, so right now on the PPO, the employees are paying about the same amount right now for this year?
18%.
4,000, like
A
4,000?
couple $100
Less.
difference, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual premium is a little bit less under the current PPO plan, so the amount they actually pay is going to be a little less because 18% of a lower
Okay.
premium.
Yeah. Gotcha.
To have the insurance, do you have to have do you have to be a full-time employee?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Kershaw?
Jason, I don't know if I asked this question to you last year, but, so this is a standalone group, right?
Mhm.
West Baton Rouge Parish employees are a standalone group. Have you ever looked at going to the Police Jury Association as a whole?
We actually talked about that this year, especially when it came back with the 15%
Right.
off the bat, but just with the time constraint, we had some conversations with the police jury. I think next year we had talked about actually looking at that and maybe even some other alternatives like a self-insured type
That
program.
was gonna be my second question. Have
Yeah.
you looked into that?
Philip and I did talk about it, and it's something we would like to explore.
Okay. So a year from now, we may be having a different conversation.
Correct,
That just, you can't do that in
right.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
do that in the market.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Minogue? Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, what's the wishes of the council? We got a motion by Chris Kershaw, seconded by Kirk Delane, to approve the recommendation to go with Humana with the 5% increase for the year of 2019. Is there any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote for approval. Motion passed. Thank you very much. Item number 10, make appointment to fill the registrar of voters position. All right? With this, let me just start off by saying a couple of words on that. First thing I want to say is I want to thank the members that sat on the committee, Mr. Kershaw, Mr. Bob Robertson, Ms. Charlene Garden, myself sat on that committee. Just to let you know that we had actually 26 total applicants that put in for this position. 14 people qualified for the interview. We interviewed 14 people on this thing. I can tell you now that we have some very qualified people in this parish, very good people in this parish. Everyone that came in did a very good job on the interview. So it was a tough little position for the committee to be in to make this appointment. But we did. We came up with some names, and we kind of broke it down and tried to narrow it down as low as possible with the number of applicants we had, and came up with 3 applicants that we felt stood out above, and we was going to bring those names to the council. Those people was Grover Harrison was one, Jamie Fontenot was one, and Corey Kayette was one. After we had met and came up with these 3 names to bring it to the rest of the council, we actually put a packet together and gave it to each one of you to go home to look at the resumes that these 3 individuals had. After we left the meetings, after giving y'all those packets, Mr. Grover Harrison had came to Council Clerk Michelle and basically gave her a letter that he would not at this time be able to accept that position if he would have been elected to serve in that position. At this time, he would not be able to do that, to serve. So it left us with two people that we originally had agreed to bring to this council. So you had those resumes before tonight. So with that, the only thing that we can do is we're going to open up the floor for the nominations to be placed in for that position. And the council will make, I've told you what the recommendations from the committee was, so that at this time, I would open it up to make a recommendation for the register of voters. Mr. Kershaw.
I recommend Miss Jamie Fontenot.
All right, so Jamie Fontenot name has been put into nomination. Do I have any others? Names? Mr. Ricky Luke.
Yeah, I'd nominate Ms. Corey.
Corey
Who's in
Kayette.
Kayette. Actually, he didn't say yes. Oh. Sorry, she fixed
Oh, you're second my motion. Sweet.
it. She fixed it.
It's just nominating names. It's not a motion or anything like that. Is there any other nomination? Any other nominations to be put in? Any others? Seeing no others, I'm going to close the nominations, and we have 2 people who would be up. Now, we can do this 2 ways. We can either have a voice vote with both names up, or either we can vote one at a time, and we can do it on the machine. Michelle can punch it in, and we can actually vote by the machine. So what is the wishes of the council? Which way would you like to do?
Use the machine.
Do the
All
machine?
we pay this big bucks for.
All right, no, we'll do the machine. You want to go in the names by the way that they were nominated? We'll go up, Jamie Fontenot will go first, and then Corey, if Jamie gets 5 votes, then there would be no further to go further. Whoever, you have to have 5 votes to be able to get that nomination. Okay? You got that? Ms. Sherwood, you got all that? Mr. Kershaw?
Okay, I'm not sure of the procedure here, but I'm gonna plow through it like I have the floor. I was one of the 4 people that sat in the interview committees, and for the benefit of the other people that were not, I would just like to tell you my observations of what I saw in the meeting. I do not want to talk down about either candidate, but I just want to bring up some things that were brought up during the interviews, and most of this was brought up by the interviewees themselves. So Jamie interviewed first before Corey did. Jamie graduated from Northwestern State University in 4 years, graduated from Southern University Law Center, ranked number 1 of 107. That's first out of 107 people. She's been an attorney since 1995. She was the town attorney for the town of Brewley from 2001 to 2006, 5 years. That's the same period of time I was on the town council of Brewley, so I have a working relationship with Jamie. We asked Jamie how long she lived in the parish, and she said 22 years. She likes a challenge. She thinks the Registrar of Voters office is the cornerstone of democracy. She likes being prepared. She feels that she's a natural-born leader, and she has an extensive educational background. Corey has 8 years worth of experience in the Registrar of Voters office. She feels she's an asset already to the office. She attended Baton Rouge Community College for 1.5 years. She has her CERA certification, I hope I'm saying that right, C-E-R-A. That's a Certified Elections Registration Administrator. I didn't really understand what that was because it said Auburn University on the application, so I looked it up at Auburn University, and you can take up to 12 courses in that CERA program. The 12 courses are 1.5 days apiece. So her 12 courses that certified her to be a Certified Elections Registration Administrator is 18 days worth of training, 18 days. She said she thinks she has the leadership skills that it takes to run that office. Asked her again how long she had been in the parish, and she said for 1 month. Now, to be fair, I think she lived in the parish, moved to Iberville, and had already moved back or was in trying to get an apartment or somewhere. But the law does say you do not have to live in the parish today. You have to live in the parish the day that you are sworn in. So the qualifications in state law under RS 1852 are pretty straightforward. You can get in one of 4 ways. You can have a Bachelor of Science degree with 2 years full-time work experience. You can have an associate's degree with 4 years full-time work experience. You can have 7 years full-time work experience, or you can have 5 years full-time employment in a Registrar of Voters office in the state of Louisiana. So the decision that we're making today is between these 2 people. I think in my mind, from what I saw, I think Corey would make a good Registrar of Voters. I think Jamie would make an excellent Registrar of Voters. So the decision we're making today is not just for the election that we're having right now. This decision affects the residents of West Baton Rouge for many, many years from now. So saying that, I understand that we all have our own preferences, and sometimes what's popular is not always right, and sometimes what's right is not always popular. So I have to stand up and recommend Jamie Fontenot. I've already made that motion, and we're going to vote on that. I just want to let you know that I've worked with Jamie. I've seen her in action. I've seen her in action in lawsuits. She understands the law. To me, that would be the biggest plus for a Registrar of Voters is to know the law. Because when somebody comes in there ranting and raving that they weren't allowed to vote or something was done wrong. I want somebody who knows the law and can stand up to that person without backing down. So that's why I'm making a conscious effort, I hope it's conscious, to nominate Jamie, and I'll be voting for Jamie because I think she is the better candidate. Not that the other one is not good, I just think Jamie's better. Thanks.
Mr. Ricky Lou?
Yes, of course, I wasn't on the committee, and I did get the resumes and went through them all thoroughly. And yes, very impressive resume. And, you know, but the decision I made was due to the fact that my history. You know, I didn't get a degree, a bachelor's degree, and started in the field I'm in. And I worked, the company I worked for, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunities to excel and them give me the opportunities and move up into the plant. And I've moved up very well because they gave me opportunities. And, you know, with that said, Corey's in the office. She's second in command because Stacy Ron put her there. Stacy Ron sent her letters, emails, and put it in her resume that she recommended Corey. And so she's in the office. She's doing a good job. To me, is no brainer to give her the opportunity because she's in there and she earned it, and that's why I'm voting for Corey, because I think she deserves the opportunity because she's in the office doing the work. So that's all I want to say.
Okay. Picture look like, anyone else? Anyone else? I can just let everyone know that just like I stated earlier, we have some very good people in this parish. Very good people. Not just Jamie and Corey. We have very good people. I was lucky enough to be able to have these interviews. I was lucky enough to be able to talk to a few people on these interviews that their name didn't make it to the top, but I have asked my clerk to get in touch with them to ask them to serve on other committees that this parish needs. And so we do have those people. So I'm not going to say one way or the other. I believe that we had people come through that spoke highly about our register of voters over the years, how good it's done, how much better it is than any of the other parishes that they deal with. So I feel comfortable, and I haven't had any issues that have taken place in the elections or anything since I've served on this parish council, and I am glad that I haven't had any. And hopefully it'll continue for at least another year and a half without any, to where I can leave here without any controversy on elections. So with that, we're going to do, like we said, we will put a name up. Since we have two names, we will put a name up. You will vote yay or nay. If you want the person to be the registrar, you would vote yes. If you don't want that person to get that vote, then you would vote no. Okay, Jamie Fontenot's name will come up first. Her name will be first on the agenda, and so you will be voting on Jamie Fontenot to be the registrar of voters at this time, right? Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna vote. The machine is open to vote. If you want Jamie Fontenot, you vote yes. If you want Corey or someone else, you vote no. All right, 1 to 8. So now we will vote on Corey. The machine is open to vote. If you want Corey, you vote yes. If you don't want Corey, you vote no. Motion passes 8 to 1. Corey will be the new registrar of voters. Corey is presently, I believe, over at the registrar's office. We have an election going on. It does not close until 6 o'clock. Hopefully, whenever it's over with, she will attend the meeting and we can call her up to the microphone. With that, Jamie, thank you so much for your coming in here. Like I told you earlier in our interview, you are a very good person and a great attorney. Very great attorney. Thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move on. Item number 11, public hearing on previously introduced ordinances. A, an ordinance of the West Baton Rouge Parish Council to create the new voting precincts by dividing the existing precinct into 2 precincts. This item here is a public hearing. Anyone from the public want to be heard on this item? Anyone from the public? Seeing none. This item here was just because they had so many voters in the precinct down toward Addis, they had to divide it up. It's not gonna be no real changes to anyone. You're gonna still go to the same precinct. You're just gonna have a different machine to vote into. You got a motion by Kirk Delane to approve, seconded by Chris Kershaw. Is there any questions? Seeing none, machine is open for approval. Motion passes. Item B, an ordinance to amend and reenact section 54-2 parking prohibited of chapter 54 motor vehicles and traffic, part 2 Code of Ordinances of the West Baton Rouge Parish Code of Ordinances to prohibit parking of vehicles along certain portions of the Louisiana Highway 415 and to clarify penalties related thereto. This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public would like to be heard on this item? Anyone from the public would like to be heard on this item? Seeing none? Evan Cooper. State your name for the record, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Evan Cooper. This kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't see it coming, but where on 415 are we talking about?
At the inter,
South side of the interstate.
2,000 feet either way, correct? North or south is the way it reads. It's just at the interstate, take 2,000 feet going north, 2,000 feet going south. I believe it's 2,000, I'm not looking at it. I thought that's what I read. And that's where it's at, just on the side of the road.
Who will enforce that?
The sheriff's department,
Is that for the trucks parking in that area?
you sit there blocking entrances and things like that.
Trying to keep them blocking where they can't get in your place.
All right.
All right? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Seeing none, I will close the public comment, open it up to the parish council. And the parish council, before someone makes a motion, I had spoke with the parish president, and where we got in here down, if you look at the second page of this thing, under penalties, under one, I had asked the parish president, would it be okay if we change that $50 for A, and then you got B, 15, 10? Could we make those 15 and 10 $50 to make it more, you know, the same, instead of us having 10, 15, 50, now, that way we would have only $50 penalties and a $250 penalty. Parish president basically said he had no issues with that, and I would ask if we could, if someone would make that motion.
I'll make that motion just that way.
All right? We got a motion by Barry Huggins, seconded by Ricky Luke. Is there any questions? Make a motion with the change, okay?
I think if y'all want to do this immediately, we wait 30 days on
Whichever is better for the administration. What you want? You want it on upon? Approve, okay. So,
Was that in your motion, Barry?
It was, you didn't hear that?
it was in the motion, I just didn't hear it. They said that it went to take effect as soon as the motion was approved.
Okay.
My hearing and eyes are not very good. I went to the doctor today and I don't have hearing aids, so. All right, so any other questions? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote for approval. Motion passes. Item number 12, consider status report, change orders, or other matters as required on current projects. We don't have any. That was a good report, Jason. Item 13, resolution. A, resolution authorizes the parish president, director of utilities, and director of finance to sign the Louisiana compliance questionnaire for audit engagement for Provost, Salter, Harper, and Alford LLC on behalf of the West Baton Rouge Parish Natural Gas and Water Systems for the period January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. Is this for 19? Okay, so it's 2019 and December 31st, 2019. Just
Got it.
with that change.
Yeah, I was about to say it for the 18 audit.
It's for the 2018 calendar.
Audit,
Okay,
yeah.
so the audit is
So-
for the 18 year, okay.
Right.
All right, so the audit will be for those, for the 18 year. We got a motion by Chris Kershaw to approve, seconded by Ms. Charlene Gordon to approve. And we have a question by the administration?
Just to let you guys know, it's a standard compliance question. It will come back before you, Philip has this for this is standard audit report that has to be signed off on utilities.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote for approval. Motion passes. All right, at this time, I did notice that our registrar has entered the room. Ms. Corey, I would like for you to come to the microphone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you that you have been appointed to the Register of Voters.
Thank you.
To be the next registrar for us. I know you've
Thank
been
you.
tied up over at the office today with the elections going on. Hope everything is running smooth as possible,
So far, so good.
and I'll turn it over to you.
All right. First, I want to thank all you guys for your vote. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep rolling. We're in the middle of an election right now. We just got finished early voting. Everything's good. I appreciate everyone, and I look forward to working with all y'all.
You don't have much longer to work with us. Let us supervise.
Well, like I said, we thank you for coming and everything, and congratulations to you. And,
Thank you so much.
Anything that we can do for you in the future, please let
Sir,
us know.
same to y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 14, introduction of ordinances, and we have none. Item 15, appointments, recommended Capital Area Human Services District candidate. My name has came up for, my term is up on that board, and they've asked that, they asked me to serve again, and I told them that I will.
Okay.
We have another vacancy also. Miss Stacy Morales served on that board, and she had to ask to be taken off. She has other things that she's tied up with, so she had to ask her name to be taken off. So we're actually presenting, we have to send 2 names for each person to get a appointment, and the governor and them makes this appointment. So what we're doing is like I said earlier, they had some candidates that came through that mentioned they would be interested in serving on some of these committees. And so basically, we have myself, you tell me, Michelle.
We have Mr. Gary Spillman, Mrs. Tessa Young, Mr. Brandon Brown, and Mr. Grover Harrison III.
So we're gonna send those 4 names in and ask that 2 people be appointed to represent West Baton Rouge Parish.
Oh, we're not gonna pick 2?
We have to send 4 names.
Oh, we have to send 4 names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send
we're
two per seat.
we're asking that we're gonna send those 4 names in.
Oh, cancel?
You just hitting all kind of motion around.
Is that everybody okay with how that's good? And if anybody would love to serve on that board, please let me know, because, I've been serving on it for years now, and I enjoy going, but if anyone else would like to be interested in serving on that, it's a very good committee to serve on. It's something good for this parish, to help people with, addictions and things like this, and, it's just a very good board. So, anyone that'd be interested, please let me know. All right, consider subdivision plats, condemnation waivers, and matters related thereto. I don't see Mr. Durbin in the room, so we must not have it. Item number 17, correspondence report.
The correspondence I have tonight, I need to remind everyone who plans on going to the police jury convention to let me know before you leave here, if you haven't done so already.
When is that again?
February 13th through the 15th.
Valentine's, you take your
Yeah.
wife to
Yeah, make sure
Valentine's.
y'all bring mine Valentine.
Yeah. Also, anyone who has not done your ethics training, get with me and I will give you the online link to it. Yeah. With me. The only other thing I have is that we have budget meetings next week, Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30 PM. And just to remind everyone, the hours for trick or treat will be October 31st, that Wednesday at 5:30 to 7:30.
Thank you very much, and I sure appreciate everyone coming out tonight, and be careful, especially at Halloween. Thank y'all very much. We got a motion by Mr. Kershaw to adjourn. Thank y'all.
Not a good motion.
Are we gonna take a picture?